have some news coming out of Fortnite and Epic Games.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and jump into that. What do we have with these guys?
So we talked about again about a month ago. Epic Games announced that they would be doing $100 million this coming year in Fortnite tournaments for the year, like a $100 million Fortnite professional season, professional league, whatever you want to call it. So they're launching their first event of the year after this particular announcement. It's an 8-week long, $8 million Fortnite tournament. It's weekly tournaments. This week it's going to be duos. It's a closed tournament. They invited top players and streamers, popular streamers, and so it's begun. Unfortunately, it does not open. It's not an open invitation. You had to be, at least for the first couple of weeks, you had to be specifically invited. Although Epic Games did note that the weekly weekly game type, which this week is dual, so it's two player teams, the weekly game types and who's available to participate will change. Okay. So over the next 8 weeks, you want to keep your eyes open. I'm assuming there's going to be an open invitation in one of these tournaments. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, maybe like the 50 versus 50 or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, but this one is again is duos, and it's a $250,000 tournament. So that's the prize money being given out this weekend. Right. And again, over the next 8 weeks, it's going to be $8 million in prize money up and available. Oh, that's a lot of cheese, man. A lot of cheese right there. Definitely. They're not playing around. I mean, they're making a ton of money. I mean, so much money that they've decided, moving on, that's a segue. Yeah, moving on. they've decided that they're going to make changes in the Unreal 4 marketplace. So basically what they have with Unreal 4, if you're a developer and you've built assets in Unreal using the Unreal 4 engine, they have a marketplace that you can sell those assets. Right. And initially they used the iOS model. They get 30%, the developer gets 70%. But because, and they specifically said this, that Fortnite's been so successful, they've made so much money, they're changing that split to 88-12. So the developer's getting 88% of the proceeds, and Epic Games is taking 12%. Additionally, they are making this change retroactive since the beginning since the start of the marketplace, which opened in 2014. So if you're a developer and you've been selling your assets on the Unreal Engine 4 marketplace, you're going to be looking at a decent chunk of change, because you're going to be getting 18% more going back to 2014. So that's kind of unheard of. Yeah, definitely unheard of. And wow, they just giving money away. It seems like right. I don't know what to say about this. I mean, right. Epic Games has so much money right now. Just like remember some of the other stories we were talking about in the past about like how much money Fortnite made on his like first week being on mobiles. I was like, dang, that is a lot of money, man. And that was just on iOS. That was before it made it. Yeah, that was before the Android version came out. It's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. They are raking in the dough, and they spreading the wealth. That's exactly right. They are spreading the wealth because Unreal Engine 4 is a hot property for them. They make a ton of money off it. There's literally hundreds of games that paid money to license the Unreal 4 engine. And, right. I just there you go. There you go. Epic Games has a lot of money. That's it. Yeah, pretty much. That's the story in a nutshell. Next up, we have some unfortunate news, but news that we kind of expected. And another fan remake is going the way of the Dodo, or they're probably going the way of the company that's doing the dirty deed themselves. But Konami is going to be shutting down the fan remake of PT. If you guys don't remember, we actually talked about this not too long ago about there being a fan remake of PT being in the works. It was running on the Unity engine, and it was pretty much a 1-for-1 recreation of the playable teaser, which ended up being a prelude to Silent Hills.
of course, the game would go to be shut down in its entirety.
And Kojima fired.
Yeah, and Kojima got fired. Everything just shut down in its entirety. And the fan creation is no different. It will be shutting down. Exactly how did it happen? Did they get the cease and desist or?
Well, yeah. Apparently, not THQ, but Konami called the developer. It's a 17-year-old kid. He goes by the name. I'm gonna tell you his name. It's a weird name. It begins with the Q. Quizm. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, Kimsar. Qimsar.
Kimsar. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's a 17-year-old kid. Goes by the name of Kimsar. He got a call from Konami. It's like, look, you can't do this. Please stop. Apparently, according to him, it was cordial. Even to the point where Konami offered him an internship.
Well, that's actually pretty good.
So I mean, they weren't rude about it. They didn't sick the lawyer. It probably was a lawyer that called them, but they didn't sick the dogs on them. They're just like, hey, look, please don't do this. It's our property. We don't want this out. By the way, would you like to intern with them?
Yeah, because the guy he's only 17 years old. He's still a kid, and a kid just like recreated a PT in the Unity engine. That's pretty impressive.
Definitely.
And apparently Konami thinks so. I wonder what they're going to utilize him for or have him do. Hopefully it's not
working. Pachinko machines.
Yeah, I was about to say pachinko machines. That was exactly what I was about to say.
What's the Metal Gear?
Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, Metal Gear Survive 2.
Blah. But yeah, no, it's good. Because this was a solo effort. So it's good that his work didn't go completely unnoticed.
Right.
It would have been nice if he were to, expand on the playable teaser.
Right.
Because, and we talked about this a little bit off screen too, Death Stranding doesn't appear to be a spiritual successor to Silent Hills. I mean, it has the same team behind it with, Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, and Norman Reedus from Walking Dead. So it's the same people involved, but I don't feel like they're going for the same feel. Because Silent Hills was definitely going to be a horror game, and I don't know what kind of game Death Stranding is going to be.
Nobody knows. Kojima doesn't know.
Man, I'm telling you this right now. If you are excited about Death Stranding, like you're a fanboy, just admit that you're a fanboy and just be excited because you're a fanboy. Some people question whether or not it's an actual game. I'm not sure what Death Stranding is gonna be, but so it looks like there's a happy ending to this story. Light at the end of the tunnel, fetus in the sink, PT reference. Haha, I'm trying to be funny. Anyway, so I mean this is good though, because he gets the intern at the company.
Right. I don't know if he accepted it, but they offered it.
Well, I mean, even if he didn't accept it, I mean, just to get the offer is amazing in itself.
One thing that I noticed in reading a couple of the articles, that
fetuses, yeah.
The developer, Kim, what's his name, Kim Sam, he's mentioned that it's a load off of him. He said doing this was pretty stressful for him because he wanted it to be basically perfect.
Right.
And he's putting a lot of stress on himself. So good for him. Get healthy.
Yeah, get healthy. Do your thing. I mean, maybe developing games isn't his thing because it can be stressful. That's no question about that.
Well, like I said, this is a big take by him doing it all by himself. And trying to do a 1-to-1 recreation is definitely a lot of work. I can see where it'd be stressing you out because unfortunately the gaming community can be very, very brutal. Very
brutal, very impatient. When's the rest coming? Like, you're lazy. It's like, what? I'm 17 and I'm doing it by myself. Leave me alone. No, but it is good that it wasn't like there was apparently no hostility in the cease and desist. They called him like, hey, what's going on? So can't be too mad at it. When you're using somebody's intellectual property, this is to be expected. We've seen this happen plenty of times with other companies, Nintendo to name one, and countless franchises. Pokemon, Mario, blah blah blah. Well, we've seen it. We've seen it all before. Mega Man. Yeah, we've seen it all over the place.
But the only thing about it, I'm normally on the side of IP holders regardless of how shitty they are, Nintendo. But one thing about this that kind of rubs me the wrong way is that Konami is not doing anything with it. They're basically not doing anything with any video game. So I understand they want to protect their IP, but to what end?
Right, because they're not doing anything with it. I mean, right. Silent Hill, the franchise was dead until PT came out. PT revised or brought this revitalized this freaking franchise and brought it from the brink of death just to be like shot in the head again. Freaking I was gonna make a joke, but for those of you that have not seen Infinity War, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Wait. It's 4 months. Make your joke. I want to.
Okay, laugh. So it's just like the Vision effect where where Scarlet Witch killed him just to have Thanos turn back time and rip the stone out of his head. Anyway. Yeah. So it's the same effect. Sorry for those of you that have not seen Infinity War. It's a fantastic movie.
Infinity War, shame on you.
It's a good movie, man. We could do a whole show talking about that. I love that damn movie. But yeah, another fan project, bites the dust. It is unfortunate, but that is the game you have to play when you are using somebody else's IP. So off with that story and on to our last story in our top stories for the week. And this was actually pretty interesting. We haven't talked about this company in a long time, and that is THQ Nordic. The last time we talked about them, we found out that they are going to be making a new what's that damn game? Darksiders. Yeah, Darksiders 3. We got the Darksiders 3 teaser trailer. That's actually going to be coming out pretty soon.
No, I thought it was next year.
Is it next year? I know. I thought I saw something else or something new came up about it, but that was the last we talked about him. Of course, THQ Nordic.
November.
Yeah. I was like, that game's coming out pretty soon. Of course, for those of you that don't know, THQ Nordic is the came by where Nordic, which was their own individual company, came by. Nordic Games. They came by and they purchased and acquired what remained of THQ after they had went bankrupt and pretty much sold off all their IPs.
Right.
So they took the name THQ Nordic. They've been swallowing up a bunch of different studios, and today we are here to tell you guys that they have acquired Handy Games. What's Handy Games, you may ask?
They have a few small games on console, but they're mainly a mobile game developer, which makes
pretty
sense.
much.
Handy Games,
it makes sense.
Right. But yeah, they brought this company. They're actually a publisher and developer. They're a German company, German developer and publisher, and they're saying THQ is saying they're going to use them to publish and develop international games that are small and mid-sized.
Right.
So they, maybe for developers and maybe in-house. You got a small and mid-sized developer that needs a publisher. That's what they're going to use them for, and they're still going to do some in-house. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean it's good news. It's good that THQ Nordic or Nordic Games, whatever you want to call them. It's good that they're not just sitting by and trying to just focus on the IPs that THQ had. They're actually venturing out. They're growing. They're trying to become one of the major studios. Because THQ was really big back in the day.
Oh yeah, they had a lot of good IPs as well.
Yeah, they did. They had a whole bunch of IPs.
They just handled them wrong.
A lot of which were handled wrong, and then with all of those movie tie-in games and all of that, they bit the dust. But yeah, this seems pretty cool. I did check out the trailer, and I have it shown on the screen for one of their games, like a hell shooter, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's on and they actually have some of their games on consoles as well. Right. Some are on the Switch and PS4. They have some VR games as well that they've put out. I'm talking about Handy Games here. So I mean, it's pretty cool. You know, they keep everything in house. They need to have a small title that needs a publisher. Handy Games can take care of that. It just seems to make business sense. You know, a lot of people don't want to go out and, you know, build from scratch or rely on a big publisher in order to get their game out. Right. You know, a lot of people are going the indie route, and it seems that this is kind of like a hybrid of sorts, where, you know, they keep it in house, but, you know, they have their own in house publishing agent, which is cool. I like that. I like that idea.
They're going to keep all of their employees, the management, as well as their location. So there's no
change. Business as usual.
Business as usual, pretty much. Yeah. They
That's
just have
dope.
a new boss.
Yeah. The boss has a boss now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty much it. So really happy about that. Anytime there's a takeover that isn't hostile, I mean, that's really good in gaming, because you know, we talked about plenty of stories where people were getting just rolled over by conglomerates, and, you know, that's never a good thing, because then you lose some of that artistic vision when that happens.